know you feel like you want me, and I guess in a way you do. Holding my breath, unraveling emotions. I need some space to think this through. Call me all night long. Try to give you hints and a hard to see. Right on the line, no. Losing it on you's the last thing I need. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you, I would rather lie to you. I promise, now's not the right time. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you, I would rather lie to you. Look away so you won't see, cause the pain is in my eyes. Feels like I could break it any moment and shatter your insides. If you feel my mind, call me all night long. Try to give you hints and a hard to see. Right on the line, no. Losing it on you's the last thing I need. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. And I don't wanna fight with you, I would rather lie to you. I promise, now's not the right time. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you, I would rather lie to you. I would rather lie, I would rather lie. I don't wanna fight, I would rather lie to you. If I'm honest, I'll just make you cry. Yeah, I don't wanna fight with you, I would rather lie to you.
Hello and welcome one and all to a pivotal race here in Tier 1 SLR. It is of course the penultimate race of the season, the end of season 14, round 13. And as Chief's going to get into it in a minute, it is quite a tense battle here, not much to go between Justin and McKender and Danny. And it is Jeddah is the playground for today, and one place that you're more likely to see safety cars, which could play a factor in today's race result. But I tell you what, I am really looking forward to this one, and of course I am Tipsy Bob, and the man with all the info is Mr. Ocean Chief.
Yes, Bob, it's the Cheddar, it's the Cheddar and Jeddah, it's the big one, penultimate race. 2 points is all we have between Justin and Danico. So Justin 166 points in the Drivers' Championship, Danico 164. Justin's win last week put him just marginally ahead heading into this one. McKender as well, 147 points. Meepo not showing there, but he's still there, 137 points. But yeah, constructors, who cares about constructors? It's all sewn up. McLaren 311, AlphaTauri 166. So it's really a battle for P2 as Williams 143 points, so they'll be looking to score big today. And yes, Bob, I am seeing that reaction to the chat message. That's huge.
Yep. That is really huge. A wet Jeddah. I bet you that probably does, well, certainly doesn't happen that often. And my goodness, Jeddah in itself is a tricky enough track with these relentless corners left, right, and they all kind of look the same to me. But to throw in a bit of the wet stuff, this is going to be like maximum difficulty for a lot of these guys. Certainly the guys that are not running any assists. I mean, it's going to be a tricky task for them today.
Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of the desert, isn't it? It's Jeddah, like we're in the middle of Saudi Arabia. They don't get rain very often, so this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I know we have, I think our gamer, he'll be joining later on in mid quali. He is from these part of the woods, or woods is kind of the wrong word really, these kind of the sands or the dunes. And I've often joked with him, you know, when people say go out and touch grass. Well, That's something that they can't do. So it gives you an idea of there's not much rain, so a wet Jeddah is very peculiar.
Yeah, funny enough, actually, our gamer lives in not Jeddah, but Saudi Arabia, and I remember one day he did tell me that there was huge thunderstorms in Riyadh, where he lives, and I checked the map because I didn't believe him, but there was huge thunderstorms just over that one city. So it does happen. There is rain happening in the desert, and it's very rare, but this is one of the rare occasions. So this is setting up for a very interesting finale, and I'm looking at Justin Aerts on board with him now, our championship leader heading into this round. He has got it all to do. He's got mediums on, so he's choosing to set a medium run and save a set of softs possibly for the race. And yeah, he's looking very fast today, going through sector 3 here. Very much driver's favorite, this track. It is a new addition to the F1 calendar over the last few years, but it has gone down pretty well with the drivers. They seem to like it.
Yeah, man, and pretty much everyone is out on track. They have realised just how pivotal quality is. As Justin's about to cross the line, there's a 26.8, and I think I seen on the info page, Chief, that you posted that the last time out here in Jeddah, it was Tino, and he did a 26.6, I think it was 26.630. So that's kind of a benchmark to set. Of course, Tino is exceptional in his pace, so we might get near that. But Justin has done a good job of getting close to it with a 26.8. And yeah, well, at the moment we've got Chinari and McKender still in the pits. Hopefully we see Mac going out and giving it a good go here in the quali, because he has been kind of leaving it sometimes to the last to the first, or kind of just fooling around in the quality section. But I think, it's getting to the crux now of this season. Only 2 races to go, and McKender is very, very close to getting this as well. He is in the contention for this, as Tudge takes the pole off Justin. But yeah, man, it's I think there's the constructors. Someone said the constructors could be wrapped up today. Is it that right, or is it the P2? I think P2 and constructors.
Yeah, P2's up for grabs. P1 is sealed by McLaren. They're like almost double the points of P2. Interestingly, Tino is in chat. I think it might have been a 25.6 that he said, because yesterday in Tier 2, Christian did a 25.9. In Tier 3, Night Cow, as I call him, he said a 26.4. So it's actually faster than this pull time on mediums from Touge. So yeah, I think we're going to get down to the 25s on this one.
Yeah, I see that time. Yeah, last time it was 6. Yeah, so I think it was probably a 25. I thought it said 26.6, but sure, we'll leave that to the history books. We will see what these guys do today. And is Dan the Man on a lap? Dan the Man is, of course, how many points, Chief? Was it 4 or 6 points away from Justin?
2. It's only 2 points.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My goodness, 2 points. That is a pretty tight finish. Now, I don't want to. Well, no, I don't want to jinx them, because I have been running on board with a couple of drivers in the lead up to this race. A few of them have been struggling at different sections of the track. And this one corner in particular has been catching a few guys out, and I won't say anything just yet because I don't want to jinx anyone. But while we're in this quali, Dan the Man still actually, hang on, Dan the Man is almost finished his lap, Chief. So Dan is coming around the hairpin. We've seen a lot of drivers mess up there in the real life as well as in the race. He's hugging that inside, and I think he's backed out of that one. Yep. But I was going to say there, Chief, is reserves today, folks. We never got on to that. Reserves today, we have Kit. He's a reserve. And I think his friend that was a late addition. He vouched for him. He's a new quantity for us. But your word can carry a lot of weight in over here if we know you. And so James Taylor is currently a new reserve, a new addition for us all. Currently sitting in P5 in the Alpine.
Yeah. Ominous time for him. A kid as well. We saw him in Tier 2. Was very fast. So it looks like he's settling in nicely to the league. P3 currently. But as we say, I think those are just cider laps. We're going to see some very fast times coming in as drivers set up for their second run. I see McKender, as you mentioned, sitting in the pits there. So he's done this all season long, hasn't he? Where he just kind of chills in the background, and then maybe he puts a lap in as he is coming out of the pits right now. Tenari just ahead of him, so we'll keep an eye on him as he definitely could mix it up with the front row of the grid, or contend for the pole at least.
And I'll tell you what, Chief, I've mentioned it all season that Tug or Tudge, I think Babs called him. He was last season he was McKender's teammate. He done a good job, but this season I think he's done a great job. This season he's been putting himself up there. He's been able to follow a lot of the lead pack, and currently sitting nice and pretty there up at P1 with a set of mediums with 26.7. Strategy's going to be interesting today. I think we're probably going to see a couple of different tires. Well, I said different. Will differ between two different tires, let's say. I think on the starting grid. Oh, actually, hang on a minute. What am I thinking? I'm forgetting. It's a wet race.
Oh, yes.
It's a wet race.
Yes. How could we forget?
I was thinking there for a minute. It was going to be a hard or a medium start, but no, it's going to be a wet race. We don't know if it's going to be wet from the start, but I think going by just a note there, wet race, we can kind of expect it's probably going to be wet from the start.
Yeah, and that can change your approach to quali as well, because usually you'd want to save a set of softs perhaps for the race, but if it is full wet, then you don't need any dry tires, so you can afford to just run all these soft tires. As I'm watching Eagle Goose, he's having to navigate a lot of traffic, and I think that's maybe put him off his lap a little bit. But yeah, all drivers out on track apart from two, so we'll try to keep up with this action as best we can.
And what's he saying here? Justin's saying that he says, Bob, not getting your hopes up, but I think my engineer is high. So that's so maybe it's not a wet race.
We're being toyed with here, aren't we? Yeah.
We're being teased with. I mean, whenever I seen the wet race, I wouldn't say skeptical. I was surprised. Like Jeddah. I mean, the chances of getting a wet race even in the game are very slim. But here, we have seen stranger things happening as Mac is on a lap. Yes, Mac is indeed on a lap, Chief. Yeah. And we got John in chat. Of course, we've said many times, he's the dad of Meeple. He'll be supporting Meeple. Meeple doing pretty good there so far, P4. But on board on Mac, and he's got a bit of traffic up ahead. Hopefully it doesn't distract him too much. Might have got a bit of a very short slipstream. I don't know if he really got really much there.
Speaking of slipstream, the other McLaren of Danico is just behind here, so if McKender makes a mistake or invalidates his lap, he does have an opportunity to give his teammate some slipstream, which I don't know if they'll be thinking that way, or they're just going to be driving for themselves today. But it is a potential. He's setting up quite nicely, but it looks like a good lap here from McKender. Still on it, and it looks like he's going to run down to the flag. Yeah, so no slipstream on this lap anyway, as he grazes the wall there on the inside. Shouldn't lose him too much time as Tenari goes P1 with a 26.3. We're going to see McKender beat this as he is about to hit that line. Let's have a look at the standings. Yep, he does 26.3 also, but just slightly faster than Tenari. Danico pits again.
Yeah, man, I was just going to jump in there. Dan the man was lighting up the. There's Justin sticks it back up in P1. Dan the man was lighting up the time boards there with purple sector, and then on the exit of the final corner, he just got too much. His car just turned in too much, and he went almost sideways.
Funny, I think that's what happened on his first run. It seemed like that last corner caught him out. And you know what? We were chatting with him before the stream went live. As our gamer joins, yeah, we were talking to him before the chat. I don't know if you heard him say, but he wasn't too happy with his setup, so that might be playing a factor, and maybe that's the part of the track that setup isn't working. So hopefully he gets a lap on the board, because currently he's the only driver not to set a time right now.
Yeah, and when you consider that you're only 2 points away from your main rival, and your main rival is currently 13 cars ahead of you in P1, I mean, it's going to add the pressure onto Dan as well to, get a good lap in.
Here, these Alpine guys are working together, the reserves of James Taylor and Kit. I saw James Taylor getting a bunch of slipstream there, but it's only moved them up to P8 with a 26.9, so it didn't work out in the end, but top 10 and for now.
Hey, what man? I'm just thinking again. That is a lot of pressure starting to. Hopefully, it doesn't happen, but a lot of pressure going to be starting to creep into the mind of Dan here, because with only 5 minutes to go, no time on the board, a setup that he's not comfortable with, and your main rivals are currently sitting in P1 and P2. I mean, it's just like every nightmare that you could ever think of. But I mean, we've seen it many races and many seasons happen where Dan the Man always finds a way. So we have just over 4 minutes to go, and yeah, we will soon see who is. Oh, what's that? I don't know if you can you hear that, Chief? That noise in the background?
Is that like an ice cream man?
That's an ice cream van. Can you believe it?
Don't believe me, don't believe me.
I might go out and get a, what do you call them? A screwball? Do you remember those? Oh, screwballs
yeah.
are awesome.
Or a poke, as they're called.
We poked, yeah. My mom used to tell me a story about that. She would go down to the shop and go, "Give me a poke, give me a poke," and the man had to chase her because he didn't know what she was saying. Give me a poke, yeah. That's for another day.
Say no more.
But,
say no more.
No more, yeah. If anyone doesn't know what a screwball is, while we're all in the pits here, I don't know if you get them in the rest of Europe. I think you do actually, because I think I've seen them in France, but they're called something different. But it's like the wee kind of upside, like the wee triangle pot with the ice cream, and then the wee bubble gum at the bottom, guys. If anyone's wondering, we call them screwballs. So that'll actually be interesting if anyone knows what we're talking about, what they're called in the other countries.
Yeah, post in chat if you can give us. Oh my word! Eagle goes sector 1. I think it's turn. Is that turn 1, 2? Excuse me, turn 3. Clipped the inside wall as it turned in. It is quite a blind turn in that one, and it took the wheel off. Easily done. Eagle goes out of the session. Our gamer, as we said, joins the session. Is he going to get a time for a run? He does have time to go out, and I think he might just. Yeah, he might get a lap in here, so that'll serve him well. Otherwise, he'll be starting at the back of the grid.
Could this be a one-lap wonder from our gamer? I think he did say he might start last. No, did I see an Aston Martin engineer coming out of the pits? I think I do. Is gamer going to get a lap in? I would be keen to see. Is that Tudge? Let me see. That will be Tudge. So gamer is still in the pits. I don't think he's going to come out, is he? I don't think gamer's going to come out. If he's going to come out, he needs to come out now. But I think he might be opting to start last. So we'll watch that brief. We've got a yellow. I think that's just for cars going slow. Yeah, man. So here we go, Chief. We're getting into the crux of it. There is a queue developing here. If you look at the map, look at all these little blue dots, all these little dots, these colored dots, creeping their way around the track, trying to get themselves a bit of track distance or a bit of space. Look at this. The Ferrari of Chinari's passing. Who's that? The Alpine, I think it was. They're all kind of jostling, not quite, but trying to get themselves into the best position possible. We have a McLaren, and that's actually Dan. So who's that? Let me see. Dan, yeah. So Dan has got 2 cars ahead of him. And so the front of the pack is who's this? I'm scanning it. It's Justin. So Justin is the front leader, not only in quali but off this final run. So I think we're going to get a lot of these times coming in, Chief, early. We'll probably have a decision on who is going to get this pole, because the main guys are all running at the front here. Justin, and then not far behind him, Danny, and then McKender. Yeah, man. So, do you want to run? Will we run on board with Justin?
Yep, I think that's the one to go with as he comes out of the final corner. Down the start-finish straight, DRS open, and this is it. It's all or nothing. 26.077. Can he get into the 25s? I think if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Justin. He has shown some very great performances in quali, especially in his final run. He just seems to find time somewhere. Oh, I thought he was going to hit the wall there again. I was getting flashbacks from Eagle Goose little incident, but looks good so far. He's obviously pushing this to the extreme limits, and looking good so far.
Let's check his delta. Eyes firmly fixed in the top right. He is up only marginally. Up next, I think, will be Dan crossing that sector 1. We have no benchmark with Dan, so we don't know, but let's see if it turns purple. I don't know if that's still bugged, but it's not a purple. What about Mac? Has Mac improved? Mac has not improved on his Sector 1. So far, so good for Justin. He might secure pole here. Let's see his Sector 2 time. Sector 2, he is still up, and that is a purple, but it is nip and tuck. Oh, he runs a little bit wide.
Ooh,
A little bit wide there.
Yeah.
What about Dan the Man? Dan the Man has done his Sector 2. What about Mac? Mac has not improved, so Mac is basically equaling his time, Chief. So here we go. Final corner. I think Justin's going to improve marginally. He might just dip his toes into the 25s, and it might just be pull, might be 25.9, 20. No, it's not. He misses out. What about Dan? Dan the Man.
Yeah, his Sector 2 time matched Justin's Sector 2 time on that lap, so this could be good for Dan if he was able to sort out his issues with that final corner. Looks good all the way down to the start-finish line, and it's P4, so he's lost a bunch of time somewhere. As McKenna
I'll tell you what, Chief.
P2.
Sorry, Chief, tell you what, who's improving. Tunari has improved, and he might just take out McKender here. He might take P2. I don't know if it's going to be quick enough to take pole, but Tudge moves himself up to P3. But watch Tuna. Tuna's about to cross the line. This should be a P2. It is indeed a P2. What about Meepo? How's Meepo going? Meepo has improved a lot, and he's going to jump up the grid, up to P2. Oh my goodness, look at this. And who else? We've got Crawley Voice. Is Crawley Voice improving? He's not. I don't think Crawley. I think that's our grid, Chief.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think our gamer did go out on track there, but it looks like he was just getting a few corners in before we start the race. Yeah, what a surprise there from Danny Coe. Some issues, it seems, with his car today, because he is 4/10 off. That's unusual. But we've seen Danny Coe pull off some mad performances, last to first. Crazy performances. He always seems to bounce back. So we may be in store for another Danny Coe special tonight. But it's Justin who wraps it up with pole with a 26.0. So that 25 eluded us. But that, yeah, like I say, Christian in tier 2, 25.9, so slightly faster than tier 1, which is unusual again. But look at that, look at the gaps between P1 and P7. It's like just over half a second.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be tight.
It's quite a long lap as well in Jeddah, so yeah, that is quite impressive that they were so close together. We've got Icewind in chat. Hello, Icewind. Christian and our gamer aren't really tier 2.
I was going to say, whenever you mentioned there about the 25, I mean, like, it's because he's a tier 1 driver. He fought McKender. Remember, was it last season or the season before he was fighting McKender? And so on track, on merit, off pace, so... Gamer, we always say all the time, he definitely has the speed and the pace to be up here in tier 1, so yeah. I forget what I was going to say there. I was going to say something. I can't remember, Chief. Anyway.
It's not raining, Bob. It is very dark, but I don't see any rain. I can't see... Is that dark sky or a dark cloud I'm looking at? I don't see rain, which is the most important thing.
Well, my brain's gone blank there for a minute. My brain's gone blank. I can't remember what I was going to say, but regardless, we'll move on anyway. Dan, oh yes, I was going to tell you, I think Justin's name, so I heard you saying Ertz. I believe it's almost like a silent A. I think it's just like Ertz.
Ertz, okay.
Yeah, Ertz. I believe that's what it is.
Iceland saying rain and Saudi would be softened. Yeah, we were told by Justin, in chat there that it will be a wide race, but he also told his engineer might be high. So it might be that weird bug you see sometimes where it says rain is forecast and then it turns out it's not. Most likely not, yeah, because we are in the desert, but who knows? Who knows indeed?
Who knows? But man, as I was saying, we were chatting before the race there, before we went live. But I was saying, Justin's come very close the last few seasons to clinching this title. He's never really led the title. I don't believe, I may be wrong, but I don't believe there has been a time when he's been leading it. He's been very, very, very close. Just missing out on one of the titles by like a point or something like that. Very, very tight. But this is the best position that he's been in ever, I think, in Tier 1. He is 2 races to go. He is leading the championship, albeit by 2 points. And he's starting the penultimate race in P1 with his main rivals in P4 and P6. So, I mean, this is as good as it's ever got for Justin. And so it can only go backwards from here. But he does have a charging bull behind him in that Williams of Meepo. Meepo doesn't care who's in front of him. He's going for the win, whether it's for the title or whether it's for just 12 points. He will go for it. And that's what a lot of us like and love about Meepo watching him, that he just goes for the win. It's, you know, second place is not for him. It's like that thing I tell you about that video years ago, whenever they said, "Do you hear that sound?" And it's silence. And you say, "That's the sound of second place." Because nobody remembers who comes second.
Yeah. And you know, one thing as well about Meepo, like, he does race aggressively, and we've seen him go over the line sometimes, but he races that way against everybody. We've seen it against Danny, Coot, Justin, even McKender. They had a couple of incidents earlier in the season. So yeah, Meepo is indiscriminate in his aggression on track, and I think he would like to win this one. He does like this track, I know that. Obviously he does. He's at P2 currently. So looking at the tire strat, Bob, interestingly, Justin at the very front on mediums. The next medium runner would be P10. That is quite telling. That is interesting. That I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, obviously mediums, you should get a better start, but after that, once they start falling off, that's going to be an issue. And then to finish the race, you'll be on hards. Everyone else, pretty much in the top 10, is going to be on mediums.
Yeah, I think that might have been maybe have been a mistake. Oh, thank you. Actually, my wife just brought me a cup of tea. Thank you very much. That's my juice to keep me going. But yeah, I don't know, man, if that's a good call for Justin, because we've already seen that the mediums do actually last quite a distance. And so, you know, he may find he probably will find himself dropping down the order when it comes time to the pits. But of course, safety cars are ever prevalent here, and we have a few drivers that are not, that are known to trip up. But alas, we've got the lights on. I'm going to run on board with McKender to see how they all get on. Naturally, you would expect Justin to get a good way, and he does indeed lead the pack away here and in Jeddah in this penultimate race for Tier 1, and McKender already challenging Tunari here for P4. Tuna giving him just enough space, and so far they're all holding position. Now Dan will also be looking to get his move on to catch up, as will certainly keep in touch with this grid. We see a move further back. James Taylor fighting. Oh my goodness, Crawley nearly running into the back of Taylor there. He had to get out of that one. And Tilda off track, and I think Fox as well. So our gamer starting last got himself up to P12, and so there are moves happening. Fox going the long way around here, trying to find a gap, but nothing doing. And yeah, Chief further back up here. Danny is still keeping in touch. Oh, and Tudge struggling a little bit on the curbs there. There's some of these curbs you do not want to ride. You just lose all 4-wheel traction. But so far, a pretty clean lap. Lap 1. No major incidents, or no incidents at all, really, so to speak of. You might see something happen here.
Yep, sorry, at the back there, I just caught Tilda, lost his back end, and heading into that fast left-hander, the back end totally escaped him. He almost went into the wall, but he managed to save it. And yeah, our gamer up to P11, made up another position there in Sector 2.
Yeah, Fox is looking pretty racy. He's trying to find another angle around these guys, but on the hards, he has to expect that he's a bit slow. Oh, Tudge passing McKender. Oh my goodness, and Tudge nearly went over, missed the break point, and went into Gennari. That's the problem, you see, with that corner. Especially if there's a couple of guys fighting. If you try to go up the inside, it's such a tight and acute angle that you naturally are going to run into the guy ahead of you. So, done a good job getting out of that. Now, we have the McLarens here currently following. Now, I don't think the McLarens actually work that much together. Here goes Dan. Dan's pushing. Oh my goodness, Dan! He nearly tapped the rear of McKender, and Dan is going for this. He's not going to hang about, and we've seen this in many races, that Dan does know how to race. I've said previously, and it's of no disrespect to anyone, I think Dan definitely has one of the best race paces on the grid. Justin has definitely got that quality pace nailed down, but we've seen in previous races that Dan the man can chip away at that lead off the intervals, and he's got himself up to P5.
Yeah, I think like you're right. The McLaren guys don't tend to work together. They're not in VC. They don't tend to work together. But we saw there that McKenna wasn't willing to defend that, and I think that was a conscious decision. You know, that guy's faster. He's obviously there's no point in me fighting him at this phase in the race, and Danico obviously wants to press the issue here. He wants to get up front. After that poor qualifying performance from him, I mean, he did qualify P6, which is pretty impressive, but for Danico, yeah, we expect him at the front end of the grid, so yeah, he's working his way towards the front as yeah, he wants to be right on the back of Justin and ideally finishing ahead of Justin, as Kid has dropped down a few positions there, lost 2 positions, so his teammate got by, and Naika as well up to P7.
Yeah, I was watching Kid. I think I got the tail end of it. I think he got a bit sidey or slidey there on the exit of those curbs.
Oh, and Price as well having an issue there, and the S's had to completely come off the racing line and drops down 2 positions. Our gamer into the points already, so good showing from him in this phase of the race.
Probably having a go here at Eagle. He's getting a nice tight line, and Eagle is not fighting that. So yeah, these Merc drivers are working together. Crawley wants to hunt down our gamer, but our gamer, as we've said, he should really be up here in Tier 1. He does have the pace. Already moving up into P10, into the points. Nothing really major happening up front with these the main guys. I sound like a broken record at this stage. I always say it, that you don't normally see much happening in Tier 1 with the front guys. Lap 1, you might see a few moves, but generally they play the long game. They're very oh my goodness, Tuna Man nearly loses it on the exit, and he's going to lose out here on P3 to touch. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. These guys hang on, and Tuna Man is not giving this up. Yeah, he's going to hang on, touch.
He's using a lot of ERS there, yeah, and wanted to fight that hard. So Touche low on ERS, and Tenari able to use enough ERS just to keep that position. But Touche is coming back at him, and Danico front row seat here to this action, and he's just wanting to pick up the pieces. He wants these guys to fight so he can, you know, slip on by and not have to do any real work.
The tricky thing about that is if anything these guys get caught up and cut themselves up in a bit of a bundle, then you're likely going to get caught up with it, as Dan is going for a move on touch. But up the inside we get yellow. Fox is out. I think Fox is crashed. That'll be a full course safety car, is it? I think it is.
Oh, and that came at a critical time for Danico. He just made that position on Touche, so we'll hold that position. P4 for Danico. But yeah, first safety car off the race.
First safety car indeed. It doesn't say SC for me. It is actually. I've seen the boards. Full course safety car, lap 4.
And some tough choices out there, because this is too early for these hard runners to pit, but they might be considering switching on to a medium soft strategy. I'm not sure. I think there's going to be a lot of reactive decision making as they come up to that pit entry. But I think for the hard runners, it's probably a no. They probably want to run these tires a bit longer, but let's find out. Justin, though, is in a tricky spot. He's on these mediums, and again, quite early for a pit stop here. He could switch on to hards. Possibly will get to the end. I think they would, but they'll not be great at the very end of the race. He stays out. Meepo in the pits. Tenari in the pits. Is Danico in the pits? No, he stays out also.
Again, they're in the pits.
Oh, interesting. We've got a big split here. So when you see only 2 drivers staying out and everyone else pitting, I think that's a mistake from those the top 2 drivers. I mean, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but everybody behind them now is going to be on these fresher tires.
Yeah, see, we have seen over the season, like, fresh rubber is just so pivotal, but I don't know. I mean, I seen Lepson is surprised himself. He was saying that we got to stay out, everyone, but he didn't expect to see this many into the pits. I kind of agree. I mean, I'm surprised they're all coming in. In saying that, I did say earlier on in the week in Tier 3 that I haven't raced in Jeddah. I just don't want to race this place, so I don't have a good enough knowledge. But I would imagine lap 4, you're on hards. You mean you wanna if Justin stays out, then I think it would have made sense for you to stay out then as well, because you push the advantage that you'll have on him. The fact that you've got the hards and he's staying out on the mediums, you can run your hards even longer. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
It's tricky, isn't it? I think a lot of the time when this happens, as a lead driver, it depends on what the lead driver does. Like if Justin had pitted there, you might have seen a lot of guys behind stay out, but because he stayed out, and everyone else, well, pretty much everyone apart from Danico obviously wanting not to, to lose Justin from his sights, so he decided to just copy exactly what Justin did. But everyone else pitting, that is huge, and I think it is going to come into play, because Meepo on these fresh mediums, Danico on 4-lap hards, he's going to come under a lot of pressure from behind. Meepo, Tenari, Touge, McKender as well, all on these fresh mediums. This is going to get very tasty.
Well, just see there what Lapson wrote. He says that the mediums were at about 5% a lap. If that's true, then by lap 25 they should be on around 60 odd percent. If that was quite strictly true, which technically means that they could run the mediums to the end, if going by that. But my goodness, they'll have no pace whatsoever, and if Dan pits much later, he will definitely have a tire advantage over these guys. That is, of course, if there isn't another safety car, and we still have a few drivers out there that could possibly bring out a safety car. So tricky one to call. Only lap 6, but it's a tricky one to call. The safety car is really making it an interesting strat call. We will certainly see as we get into the race.
Yeah, a lot of the time, you don't know who made the right decision until the end of the race. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. So we are going to find out. I should say, Justin and Danico might find themselves under pressure, might get overtaken by a few drivers here, but I think as long as they can stay in the mix, hang on to these guys, and stay in this lead pack, they're definitely in a good spot. Because all the drivers behind are going to struggle towards the end of the race, and they may be considering going on to softs at the very end. But again, as you say, Bob, safety car, we saw it in Tier 2. Tier 3 had a bunch of safety cars, but yeah, Tier 2 had one at the end of the race, effectively making a final lap, 5-lap shootout. So yeah, that could further mix things up.
What's he saying? 20 times 5 is 100%. Hey, they came out on lap 5, right? And it's 5% a lap, and there was 10 laps. So let's say 10. Let's say you said 10 laps. 5, 10, 15, 20, 40, 45, 50. So in 10 laps, that'll be 50%.
Yeah.
Is that right? So yeah, 10 laps, which would have been 15, lap 15. Oh, hang on, he's right, actually, because that'd have been 50% and then another 10. Yeah, he's right.
Oh,
I'm old!
We're never going to hear the end of this now.
He's going to tell us all this freaking poker skill stuff. Anyway, we might see Justin and Danny having to fight the guys when they come out of the pits, but Justin has indeed gone. He has launched it, and he has not dropped Dan. And realistically, the key thing is, Dan will have a little bit of a look. The key thing is, what is going to happen with these tires? As Lepson says, those tires will be dead, so they have to pit again. So, does this mean that Dan has made the right call? He only has to pit once? I don't know.
Yeah, Dan and Justin still has to pit, remember, off those mediums as well.
And this corner they're coming to here, we've seen a lot oh my goodness, I'm about to call it there. I was just literally about to say, we have seen so many drivers lose it there and straight into the wall, and Dan did a fantastic job of catching it. He did say he's struggling with his setup. He's not struggling, he's not happy with it, and of course, if you are not happy with your setup, and certainly in a race like this, that can be so distracting for you.
Yep, and look at Meepo. Meepo is engaging ERS early on this straight. and he's alongside already, but I think Danny Coe also employing ERS and Justin kind of boxing him in. Danny Coe moving across Meepo, so Meepo not able to use that momentum to get them moved on. But yeah, I mean, this is going to cause issues behind as well, as Tenari now is right on the back, and Meepo pulling across again. He's getting boxed in by Justin, so Justin's aware that Meepo is the faster driver here, choosing to block Meepo as Meepo sends it down the inside and backs out a low one for now. So Justin and Danny Coe still P1, P2, but this is looking pretty sketchy as Tenari as well gets into the mix, temporarily getting past Meepo, but Meepo again using a lot of ERS gets past Danny Coe and looks like he's setting himself up for a move into turn 1, but yeah, Danny Coe is holding on. He's twitching all over the show, and a lot of ERS being used here. This is probably going to come into play later in the race, Bob.
Yeah, man, I was just enjoying listening to you commentating there while I was watching it, drinking my tea. But Dan obviously is not ideal. It's of course to be expected, but it's maybe not a bad idea to let Meepo go off and, like I say, the charging bull and hunt Justin, as Danny is going to get attacked now by Tunari, so that is a full finish assault here on these front places. Meepo does indeed get Justin, and now Tunaman's getting boxed in, and Dan had to back out of that one really early because that would have been disaster. So there is a lot of potential for disaster here for these guys. Oh, Dan lagged back there, and Tunaman spun as well, almost spun. So Dan lagged back, a huge lag spike, and then McKender's flying up. What happened? There must have been some server issues there. But Dan has dropped back to P6, Chief.
Yeah, I was on board with Danny Coe when that happened. He lagged right back, ghosted, and then was like pretty much part of the other McLaren car, which was not ideal, and he's dropped him down to P6. It's not the end of the world. He's still in this lead pack, but that obviously is not good. As Nikoi as well. Oh my god, Nikoi goes into the back of Tenari, and Danny Coe is caught up in that incident. Oh my word. There might be damage on Danny Coe's car. That was huge there from Nikoi. He sent it, and yeah, Tenari was span out. And Tenari is now P13. Danny Coe is P11. Oh my god, this is huge.
This is what I mean, man. Whenever you're running so close to these guys, if someone gets hit, you will get collected as well. As who was that looked like Crawley clipping the wall? This is disaster for Dan so far. P11 on old hards. Everyone else on nice fresh rubber. Oh, and Dan there, he spun again. My goodness, this is really tense. Really tense. And so Pip, oh, down the curb. Oh my goodness, it is going from bad to worse for Dan. He loses out again to Eagle Ghost. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Dan needs a safety car.
Yeah, he definitely does. Either he's having tire issues, overheating after that incident, or he's got front wing damage, because some unusual mistakes from Danny Coe in P13. Who would have thought it? He was P2 only a lap ago. Justin, though, is faring better. He's still holding on to P2. Meepo is stretching his legs, but yeah, Justin about to come under pressure here from Touge from behind. The gap is 1/10, 2/10 heading into this DRS straight, and Justin able to stay within DRS range of Meepo, so that may save him, but Touge is using a little bit of ERS here just to get on the back of him. Looks like he's setting him up for a overtake onto the start-finish straight. And it will all come down to the exit onto this, as again Touge using some ERS. He's using a bit, then not using it, now using it again. Pulls alongside, and looks like he's going to get this moved on, as he does have the fresher rubber and will have the better grip going into turn 1 and turn 2. Gets that moved on, nice and clean move from Touge up to P2.
Man, this is tense as you know what. That mistake, that bump from Meepo onto, or not Meepo, forgive me, that bump from Naiku on Tunaman is having serious ramifications on this title charge for these guys. And Dan coming off the worst. Maybe didn't help, of course, that strat call staying out in the hards, but nothing he can do about that bump. He just has to get on with it. Justin's picking up his first time penalty off the track. McKender now hunting down Justin not really using batteries, managing to maintain it here at about 50%, but those mediums must be starting to scream. And here goes McKender flying past Justin, and nothing he can do on worn tires, and Dan's still back there in P13. Oh my goodness, it's a disaster. But look, do you know what, there's still a lot of racing to go. Anything can happen here. Naiku now on the back of Justin. He's already made one mistake. He's going to try and go up the outside of Justin, a long way around. He's late on the brakes. Oh my goodness, they're all going around into the hairpin. Oh my god, Nico just about avoids tagging the back wheel of Justin.
Oh, and
And what's
Tush.
going to happen here?
Yeah, Tush
Yeah.
looking around the outside. He's using ERS again. Gets by Meepo and also McKender behind, getting past Meepo. So Meepo not having the best run there in the start finish straight cost him 2 positions. Tush leading the race, and we've seen him win a race in Tier 1 before. So he's got an appetite for it now. He's got a taste for it.
Yeah, man, and this is really beneficial to McKender because remember, let's not forget, folks, that McKender is in this title fight. He's not too far off. But this is just fantastic. And we got a yellow. We got a yellow. Where is the yellow? I don't see what that is. That was Chunamari.
Oh,
And just as soon as I seen that, his teammate Joel was also nearly went off track. So yeah, but we are getting into the range. Some of these guys could possibly make a mistake and bring out a safety car, which I'm sure some of these guys would not mind. Dan back there in P12 on 10 lap hards. It is not looking good for Dan. Something drastic has to happen, but it is looking pretty good for McKender now. He is just vibed this whole season, and he's going to go for the move on Taj, and he's going to take the lead of the race. My goodness, look at this. The guy is third in the championship, can still win the championship. He is now leading the race in the penultimate race, and his main rivals are P4 and P12, and they both need to pit as well. This is looking pretty good for Mac.
it really is. Yeah, McKenna bringing himself into the championship. I mean, if Justin has an issue... Oh, Justin behind is getting attacked from... Who is that? James Taylor, the Alpine, and there is contact from Will hooked up.
Taylor's round.
Taylor is round, and I think he collected someone else, or someone else was involved in that incident, I think.
Eagle was collected, I think.
So just
My
a huge
goodness.
moment there. That could have cost him big time there. That could have sent him down the standings. But P4 for Justin. He's in damage limitation mode, and he really just wants to get into the pits. And I wonder when he will pit, because Joel out of the session, left the session. But yeah, Justin and Danico. Well, everybody, I think everyone has to pit apart from these hard runners, apart from Danico, of course. So I wonder what they're going to go to in the end. I think it might be soft, you know.
Taylor's round again. Taylor is going the wrong way. Oh, right in front of Chinari. So he's trying to turn his car. He doesn't reset the track. Good man. That is a big no-no. And he doesn't do it. So yeah. Taylor getting himself caught up into a whole load of mistakes here.
Yep, Danico into the points. P10, he gets past Tilda. So those softs of Tilda starting to fall off in lap 7. We're going to move up. Our Gamer up to P4, passing Justin. So Our Gamer's bringing himself into this race. Didn't see where that came from. I haven't really looked at Our Gamer for a while, but there he is, P4.
Dan up to P10 as well. He is scoring in the points. And Lepson saying in chat right enough that it would be great if Supermac wins and the other guys don't score for next week, Chief. That would make it a bit of a juicy fight for the last race, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a lot has to happen for that to take place. But McKender, we always talk about like the McLaren guys like not working together, but if they were working together, really Danico would need McKender to back these guys up a little bit. Oh, and it's a safety car. There's a full course yellow. I don't know what caused that. Oh my word. Naikau again involved in an incident. No front wing for Naikau. And this is money for Danico in P7.
This is almost possible redemption for Dan, our saviour, because he can whack on a set of mediums and I think he can get to the end.
Yeah, and he, interestingly, he might be the only guy with fresh mediums waiting in the garage for him, because everybody else obviously started on mediums or has switched to mediums after that last safety car. But Danico definitely knows what to do this time. He will definitely not be staying out this time. He is going to be pitting, and I want to ride on board with him in the pits as well, because I want to see if there is front wing damage, because we will see if he gets a front wing change. But I reckon, yeah,
it looks okay, Chief.
It does look okay. Yeah, it looks alright, doesn't it? But you never know.
Thing is, Justin has to pit now, and he'll be sticking on hards. And I mean, he's going to be a sitting duck for these fresh medium runners, especially Dan the Man. So Man, this is going right to the wire. This race.
Yeah.
Literally anything's going to happen.
And I'm wondering if anyone's like willing to throw on a set of softs, because we are on lap 14. There'll be a few laps under safety car, but I think most guys are opting for those mediums. Justin on the mediums. Oh, Justin on the softs. There we go. And he's aware of the challenge that's just about to come out of that garage. Danico on mediums. Everyone else, it looks like, has gone for mediums, apart from Crawley Voice and P12, also softs. I mean, it's worth a gamble. There will be a safety car for the, I think, a next lap or two, which means less racing laps. And I think these softs will definitely last 10 laps.
See, the only problem, man, is, as I've said previously in races, you know, okay, he's going to have a lot of pace on those softs, but he doesn't have like very slow drivers in front of him. But not only that, tough racers ahead of him as well. They don't yield that easy. And he is going to have to navigate them, because Dan will be definitely getting past Gamer, Kit and Ghost. Gamer might put up a bit more of a fight, because he definitely is, you know, up here on this pace. But, you know, if Justin gets held up at all, which he probably will, I would expect he will, it just plays into Dan. Dan really just needs to focus on beating Justin. Mac, there's not much you can do about him. You know, there's still enough of a buffer there for the final race, but you know, Dan, is his target will obviously be to outscore Justin, and depending on how Justin's going to navigate these guys ahead, that will be pivotal in terms of you know, the outcome of this race. What's this Lipson saying? He says the softs will cry at the end. So there you go.
Yeah, so like Justin, like he needs to make this soft strategy work. He needs to be aggressive. He needs to get to the front of this pack and then try to build a lead, because as Lipson is indicating, they will die off in those final few laps of this race, and that will be a prime opportunity for Danny Ko to close up, and everyone else behind him as well on these mediums. They will definitely get to the flag and not fall off as bad as the soft tires. But yeah, I mean, we often talk about this, you know, before the race, you know, when you see those reserves announced, it's not so much a factor at the start of the season, but as you get to these final rounds, especially with a close championship, they can play a big part here, and we've already seen it already from a few drivers getting mixed up in incidents. And yeah, I mean, are we going to see like the likes of Kit or our Gamer possibly have an impact on this championship?
Yeah, and we've already seen Taylor well, I wouldn't say almost taken out, but definitely coming into a collision with Justin, one of the guys currently leading the championship. So yeah, so reserves at the end of a race or season when it's pivotal like this can, you know, kind of be a double-edged sword, because it can prove to be, you know, great additions, but also can cause a lot of issues. But we'll see. I think they're pretty far away to really hinder the race now. But I tell you what, Chief, normally it's the charging bull, as I call him, Meepo, hunting down the guys like McKender and Justin. But now it is the roles reversed. Justin is now going to have to put on those horns and become the bull, chasing that red flag off Meepo first of all. And Chief, I'm going to tell you, I have my kind of mystic Bob senses. I have a feeling we might have quite a dramatic moment here. I have a funny feeling, could be wrong, that we might get a DNF from one of the top runners.
Yikes. Yeah, I could see that. I definitely could, because like Justin, you know, he's sitting there with those softs amidst all these medium runners, and like I say, for this strategy to pay off, he just needs to be aggressive early, and yeah, that could cause fireworks. And then you know, like we're mentioning the reserves as well, they're in the mix and they're kind of oblivious to this whole title race playing out, you know, like Kit and James Taylor at the back. Anything can happen, and it's about to happen right now. So let's go, Bob, let's go. And Babs just showed up in chat.
Hello, Babs. Good evening from the commentator that does not change cameras. No, you're not commentating, Babs. No.
Where's Crawley Voice? Let's show him.
we haven't. See, we don't watch Crawley.
There you go, Babs. There's Crawley Voice.
But you know what, Dan could be in a really good position here, believe it or not, because if there is a bit of a hiccup with these guys at the front, well, he'll definitely pass the guys, 3 guys in front of him, and this could possibly be a Dan win, but we'll see. I still think that we're going to get one of these top 4 DNFing, but we'll see.
Oh, and it's going to be a tense run down to the start finish line as McKender is going to go at the very last moment, it seems, and he's off. And look at that, 2 wides all the way down the grid. This is going to get very hot and spicy into turn 1. Oh, and Meepo. Oh, Meepo going around the outside on the first corner, inside for the second corner, but Touge is not giving it up. And using a bit of ERS there. Touge holding on to P2, but look at McKender. That gap is 1.1 already. That is huge. And Justin on the back of Meepo. So, yeah, I'm going to keep a close eye on Justin here on these fresh softs. They should feel absolutely golden right now.
Yeah, I've been watching it. Meepo was defending very hard. He is determined. Oh my goodness. Oh, no, lads. That was close. Meepo get touched. Almost get sent into the wall. That'll just rile Meepo up. Yeah. And he is not going to let this one go. Don't be surprised if you see Meepo deploying that battery. He will. There he is indeed. Look, hunting down. He will want to catch him up again. The charging bull of Meepo is back to the... It is down up to P5 already. Dan has navigated those guys already, and he's got a watching brief now of Justin. Justin, of course, on those softs, not going to be quick. DRS not activated yet, and I think Justin will be most certainly wanting to get past Tudge because he has this charging bull on Meepo. Yeah, you know, if Meepo gets a whiff of a gap, he will be taking it.
Yeah, Tenari coming for the field there as well, at the back, up to P8, so makes a move on Eagle Goose into the final corner, so he's in damage limitation mode. He was running with the front guys, and due to that incident earlier, has found himself at the back of the grid. Now, 5-second speeding penalty, and retires in the pits, so he's played his part in this race, but has opted out for now. But let's go up front again. Justin, not as fast as I would have thought on these softs. He has got one move done, but yeah, the fact that Danico is so close to him. Oh, did Meepo hit the wall there?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, it looked like it to me, and no damage, I don't think, but that was a hairy moment for him.
Yeah, do you know what? These softs usually last about 3 laps. That's really their peak performance, and then they really do lose a good of that grip. So Justin has 2 more laps of real proper OP grip at this disposal, but he's got Tudge and McKender, 2 very quick drivers ahead of him. Meepo dropping off a bit. Dan will of course be wanting to get past as soon as possible, but you know, the longer Justin hangs around here in P3, oh, Tudge nearly clipping the wall, and Justin's going to sniff that one, but he's no room, and he close as you want to get. This should be done for Justin. He should indeed get up to P. Oh, what happened there? I got a bit of a lag spike there, but Tudge is indeed still fighting this. Tudge still fighting it, going to go on the outside. I think Justin's going to have so much more grip on the inside on those fresh softs. Nothing he could have done, but here comes Meepo. Meepo wants to keep in touch, but hang on a minute, here comes Tudge. Tudge is coming back on Justin, and Justin's going to have to fight this one really hard if he wants to win this race and protect his lead. And yeah, he does indeed hang on, and Dan is keeping a watching brief here. And yeah, Justin's still under attack from Tudge. This is a lot of pressure that Justin is having to navigate. Not only having to pass these guys, but also put up with the charge of them behind. And Justin really has only got, I think, really one good lap left in these softs. And I think they'll start to just lose a bit of that peak performance. They'll still be quick, but they'll just lose that, you know, early OP performance, and it'll just start to come more into the favour of these guys in the mediums, Chief.
Yeah, and I think it was crucial there that Justin closed that gap up to McKender, was able to get that DRS range, because that offers him some protection at least. But as you say, yeah, these softs are going to hit that 21%, and that's where the drop-off happens. Medium guys will not be quite there yet, so yeah, Justin wants to get past McKender. That'll offer him some more protection. But yeah, then the DRS comes into effect, so it's a double-edged whammy for Justin right now. It's not looking so good if you think about it that way, but oh, what's happening here? There's a lot of activity heading into the final corner, and we've got Meepo up the inside of Justin, and it looks like he's got it done, and they're side by side. Yeah, I think he's edging ahead. He's using a lot of ERS, so 30% is what. Oh, and look, it's going free wide into turn 1. Oh my word, McKenna getting a double overtake down there from Meepo and Justin. Oh my god, this is holy moly material.
This is high stakes racing, Chief. But still no collisions happening just yet. You can kind of see why I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big name DNF here. But Justin has got himself into that P1 slot, and he will be looking to charge away. But you can see that Meepo is determined to catch. He is draining his battery, and this could maybe not be a good strat call. Maybe I think Meepo is letting his his heart rule his brain here. He's determined to catch up at the detriment of his race later on as Tudge is fighting Dan.
Yeah, Danico got that move done there, and he just about got it done before they hit those sequence of corners, which was absolutely crucial for him. So Danico with a healthy amount of ERS as well, as I think he hit the wall. Oh my word, what happened there?
Looked like Gamer got hit from behind. Looked like Tuna Man. I'm not sure what happened there, but I just clipped back and it looked like Tuna. So what happened there? Gamer absolutely spun no safety car. And here goes Meepo. Meepo, with hardly any battery left, gets past Justin. And McKender is now challenging Justin as well. Oh my goodness, we are going to go right to the wire in this race. Oh, and the McLaren's touch. And Dan's still in P4. And he can just see his main rival off Justin. Oh, and Justin's going to go around Meepo, and Mac's going to try and follow as well. Meepo's going to defend the inside, and Dan's keeping a watching brief, and Mac gets that P2 back. But surely these softs of Justin's are going to start to give up soon, surely.
Yep, Justin's holding his nerve, and I think all this fighting behind him is helping him just keep that P1 spot for now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's going to pull this off. If he wins this race, it will be an absolutely blessed performance from Justin, and he's holding his nerve now. He just seems cool, calm, collected, even though chaos is all around him.
The thing is, Meepo has really drained his battery here. He's only got 27%. That's not going to be an awful lot really to fight with. Dan nearly a full battery. The guys around him as well, conserving their battery. So Meepo might, as soon as he drops out of that DRS, if he does, he's going to be a sitting duck. But I think Dan will still probably will try to go for him. But here goes Mac pushing. Here we go. Mac on the slipstream, and he backs out of it. He backs Is there a DRS coming up? I think there is a DRS coming up. Yep. He backs out of it. Here comes McKender. DRS activated, and he's going to go around the outside. Straightforward move. Justin pulls back in again to that racing line to block off Meepo. But Meepo's going to have the DRS now. And we're not going to be following anything else further back, folks, because this battle up front is so pivotal for the title. We need to follow on board every last little bit of move here that goes on. Justin kind of moving out. Don't think he was really going to go for that. I think he was just covering off any potential move from Meepo. And we are running out of laps here for these guys. And surely these softs must be starting to scream. Dan's getting a good exit there, but I think he had a lift to avoid the backhand of Meepo. And for me, it's just how long can these softs run? How long can Justin make these softs last? And is Dan going to be able to get past him? With not many laps to go. And we're running out of laps in case there's going to be a safety car. I think us after, 25, 4, 3, lap 22, I think is the last lap. There'll be a safety car, something like that. After that, it'll be as it is. As you are, as they say. Any more incidents, there'll be no safety cars.
Yep, Danico.
And you know what?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, Danico using a bit of ERS here. The problem for Danico right now is he has a bunch of cars he has to get past. He has at least one to get to Justin, and then two to get to P1. Again, he gets a good run out of that corner, and he's using ERS here. Looks like he's going to attack Meepo hard, and I think this is a good opportunity as Meepo is low on ERS. Meepo is fighting this here. Who's going to come out off the final corner ahead? As Danico trying to hang around the outside. Contact there. Bit of wheel banging, but looks like Danico up to P3. This is huge. McKender up to P1. So moves from the McLaren boys, and it looks like Danico might be boxed in here as Meepo pulls up alongside, and Danico having to turn in regardless. And just about getting that move done on Meepo. Meepo aggressive as ever. Now Meepo is battling with Touge behind. And Meepo getting past Touge. Oh my
Oh,
word!
collision, Nico!
Oh
My
my word!
goodness!
Oh my word!
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Oh my word! And oh my goodness! Oh, and then Eagle Ghost gets tapped off by Tudge. I don't think Tudge said, "Oh, no, he's not off." Eagle Ghost is off, and he's into the wall. He's into the wall. I kind of predicted it, that curb. That he touched that curb, you're in the wall, and there's no safety car. So we're back still underway. No delay to the race. And yeah, Justin now P2, Dan right behind him with a good bit of battery. Justin full battery. These guys have all got full battery, so as to say, the cream usually rises to the top, and the three main contenders for this Tier 1 title are all in the top three positions. Here comes Justin on those worn softs, trying to attack here. Mackinder forcing him maybe wide, trying to force him into a mistake. DRS, of course, is up ahead. Here we go, Justin will have the DRS. DRS activated, he's going to go and jump to Dan the Man. Dan the Man's going for the move. Dan the Man is going for the move, and he gets past Justin. Mackinder kind of squeezing down a little bit, but now Justin is going to have a full battery of deployment, and Justin's running the risk here of getting boxed in. Justin's getting boxed
my
in.
word!
Touching, and Justin's going to go trying down the inside. Oh my goodness, this might be disaster. This might be disaster if you're late in the brakes. Justin late on the brakes, but they all managed to avoid each other. Great job. Justin back into P1, Mac P2, Dan P3. We're running out of laps. Meeple and Tudge still continuing their battle. They're also, keeping a watching brief of what's going on here. But realistically, I'm sure all the fans and was watching, we would just like to see these three guys race and nobody else get involved, but of course everyone else is entitled to race. But I really want to see what's going to happen with these guys. This is high stakes stuff, high level stuff. Justin somehow managing to keep these softs from work to work. They're just still working. He doesn't seem to be under any stress whatsoever on those tires, Chief.
Yeah, he's definitely playing it well. And another thing as well, look at his ERS, 100%. He knows what's coming. It's really down to the last lap and who's going to get that move done on the last lap. Is Danico switching sides here, possibly to cool the engine, or maybe just playing a bit of mind games with Justin, just letting him see that orange car behind him is tagging along nicely, and it looks like Danico is going to get moved on here with the use of DRS. Is he going to go for it, or is he? Yeah. Oh, he came off the throttle there, so he's happy to hang behind Mackinder as well. Probably reading the situation and happy to hang behind as Meepo now closing up as well. That's allowed him to close up. But yeah, I think they're going to go for that final lap move, aren't they, Dan? Or for Tipsy as Touge up to P4.
Yeah, man. Oh, what happened there? I thought I seen a bit of a lag spike. Dan's lagging, Dan's ghosting, and Mac's going through Dan. Mac's going through, so please tell. Oh no, what's happened to Dan? What is happening to Dan? He's dropping back. What's happened to the server? Dan, what the hell's happening to the server? What? Dan is back to P9.
What the hell? What the hell? This is crazy. Oh
Dan,
my god.
P9 from potentially winning this race off Justin. Pivotal. He's P9 on the second last lap. So it's going to come down to Mackinder. Mackinder is going to have to attack Justin. But hang on a minute. Look at the gap. The gap doesn't. It looks bigger than what it says in the delta. There's something wrong with the server. Surely there must be something wrong with the server.
Yeah, that's so weird. And we're seeing a Mercedes off as well there. It looked like Kit or James Taylor, I think. Or maybe it was actually Crawley Voice in the Mercedes, sorry, was off. But that's terrible. But yeah, let's just run with this, and then we can discuss after, as we still got a race here between Justin and Mackinder for P1. And the title implications here are absolutely huge with that technical issue. We've seen it in previous kind of seasons. Technical issues can have a huge impact on races. I'm hoping this isn't the case today, but it looks like it, as Danico P7 currently and Justin P1. I think Mackinder, if he's got anything in the tank, he wants to get this win, if not for himself, for Danico.
Do you know what? Mackinder has no battery, no battery worth talking about. Justin's got half a battery. It's looking pretty much in the bag here for Justin. A absolute pivotal race win potentially coming up for Justin in this title fight. And you know what? I'm a little bit, I am a hell of a lot annoyed with us being robbed of what was a fantastic battle. There's yellows further back, but I am so annoyed with that. We were on for a fantastic battle for the end lap here with the three main contenders, and it's just technical issues with this game, man, and it's dropped down the man back to P7. I am frustrated.
Yeah, I am too, and it's not the first time, and it's not the first time this season either. We've had the lobby fall apart during a race, and yeah, it looks like this is another one. Codemaster's absolutely brilliant, and I just see Speedy telling Babs to shut up because he said Crawley to P10. Yes, Crawley P9 now, Babs. You'll be even happier about that. But yeah, looks like McKenna can do nothing about this. Justin's on up the road on those softs. He made it work. I mean, he had a bit of a help there as McKenna pulling over. What is happening here? McKenna is out of fuel. He's dropping down the order. And
Oh my God!
that's huge. That's actually going to allow Danico potentially to gain a position, which is helpful for him. But Justin crossing the line, emphatic win for him. Exactly what he needed. Probably not under the best circumstances, but a win nonetheless. Touche P2, Meepo P3. And Tenari with some great damage limitation there. He had a big incident earlier in the race, up to P4. Tilda in Tier 1. P5, my man. He's already won a Tier 3 race this season. Tier 1, P5, not bad.
Man, I mean, it's a huge race for Justin, like the hang on there. But I'm really peeved at that technical glitch because didn't just affect Dan. It seemed to drop off a lot of the guys. Like they were right nose to tail, and then suddenly there was a gap developed between Mac and Justin. And it was just unsurmountable at that stage. It's just I am just a bit really frustrated with that one, man. We were in for a really good battle, but alas, it is what it is. You take what comes, and Justin has indeed taken what comes. He started on the mediums against everyone else on the hards. He pitted for the softs when everyone else went mediums, made them work, fought the battle, stayed out of trouble as best he could, and he has done himself a fantastic chance, given himself a fantastic chance now of cementing his first Tier 1 title, potentially next week, Chief.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely nuts. Justin put himself in the best spot. He was leading the championship by 2 points heading into this race. Danico finishing P6. Justin full points with 25 points. Our gamer getting the fastest lap. So yeah, Justin 25 points. I'm not great at math. I don't know how many points you get for P6. Oh, let's have a look. P6 is 8 points. So maybe Speedy, you're very smart. Work it out. Justin was leading 2 points heading into this one. How many points is he leading by now?
It's very easy, Chief, to work that out. Just imagine that Danny's on 0 and Justin was on 2. We add 25, 2 to 25, right?
Oh, you've already lost me.
Well, 25, 26, 27, right? And then 27, and then Dan, you plus whatever he got, 8. There you go.
21 points. Is that right?
Yeah, that'll be about right, yeah.
Yeah, so, wow, that's massive. I mean, you could almost say Justin might have won the championship today. Like, I mean, Danico has to beat him by 21 points in the next race. I think even for Danico, that's too big, and Justin would practically need to DNF. And yeah, like even if Danico, if Justin DNFs in Austria, and Danico wins a race, he wins the championship. But if he comes P2, he will miss out. And I don't think that's the thing. Justin doesn't tend to DNF. Like we saw how he navigated that race, so there was chaos throughout, and he emerged victorious. So, oh my word, crazy race. It had everything, and unfortunately, part of everything is those technical issues. We saw a few lags from Danico earlier in the race, and maybe that was an ominous sign of what was to come. But yeah, that's not how we won a championship decided, and we definitely were done out of a really spectacular finish to that race.
Yeah, I was going to try and work out the standings there, Chief, but as you can see in the chat, I was really frustrated with that. It's one of the best Tier 1 seasons we've had in a long time in terms of how tight it is, so many guys. And just to be decided, well, potentially decided on technical issues. Ugh. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll see if there's any interviews.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see, because I would like to get I was just about to say Justin's take on that incident. I'm not sure if he's fully aware of what happened behind him. Let's bring him in, and see. Justin, winning today, obviously that was the plan, but did you know what happened behind you there on that final few laps?
No.
Let's, Bob, do you want to fill him in?
Yeah, so basically, as you know, you were on those older softs, and Dan was definitely looks like he was obviously planning for the last lap attack, and Kender was obviously there as well. And just when it seemed like the proper full on battle was going to kick in, there was just something happened, some lag issue happened. Dan started to ghost. McKender drove through him, and then Dan just suddenly just disappeared and appeared in P9, I think it was. He appeared in P9, and then McKender also seemed to drop back as well, and he was like from right behind you to like a decent gap, and we just don't know. We don't know what caused it, but they just got sent backwards.
Huh. Well, yeah, not ideal, I suppose.
Yeah, but let's talk
Um,
about we've said, I'm sure I can't remember specifically, but I remember same things happening to you, some kind of technical issue, uh, just taking you out of a race or making you lose a bunch of points or whatever. It does happen, unfortunately, and yeah, let's just look at the race. So, I mean, you didn't pit under that first safety car, and that turned out to be a mistake. I'm sure in hindsight, it was great, but yeah, Danico stayed out, obviously wanting to match your strategy. Like, how were you feeling at that point when you saw everybody apart from Danico pitting behind you?
I probably, in hindsight, should have boxed.
Yeah,
Slap on slap on the hards, because that would have made it to the end. Because obviously I didn't know if there was gonna be another safety car, so going mediums again would be too risky. But um, yeah, I think ultimately I think I did decently enough to hang as much as I could with everyone absolutely sending it off me at the restart.
yeah,
Um, ending up was a P4 or something. So yeah, it wasn't all too bad, and I knew they were gonna box again for another set of mediums on like lap 15, 16, only a couple laps before my soft stint was due. But yeah, no, definitely not the right call for me. And it was lucky Danny tried to match me, which I was surprised he did too. But yeah, to comment on what you said also at the beginning with the technical issues, I know that I think in Baku I tried to change my engineering setting, and it retired me from the race for some reason. And I know you could argue that, oh well, what Danny got was, to even it out, but at the end of the day, that's not how I want it to be, decided. He got his fair share of bad luck. I mean, he didn't even race in Brazil, so it was already even out. But what happened today wasn't ideal. I don't think I'll feel as happy if I win the championship, because I think Danny and McHenry definitely would have gotten me on the final lap, and I would have been maybe like 10 points behind, 8 points behind in the final round. But yeah, definitely robbed of the title fight for the final round around Austria.
yeah. Not ideally how you want to win a championship, but I mean, nonetheless, we are heading into Austria, and I think Bob's worked it out. You're going to be ahead by 19 points, so I
Yeah.
mean, that's a mammoth mountain for Danny Co to kind of, all you have to do essentially is bring it home with some points, and you'll win the championship. How does that feel? I mean, it probably feels a bit surreal after all the chaos of that race, but I mean, like, I think you'll enjoy watching that one back, Justin, because we were kind of calling it on stream, with the strats and stuff. We were thinking those softs are going to fall off at the end of this race, and I don't know what it was. You kept all that ERS as well, and that came into play on those. Those attacks on the final laps there. McKender looked like he ran out of fuel as well, so there was a lot playing out there in your favor. Uh, is it? Do you think this is it? The season, your luck has changed in SLR?
Uh, Maybe, I suppose. I still had all my bad luck at the beginning of the season, but yeah, I guess now it's just a bit less unlucky. Today again was luck. In terms of the softs, I knew that what I had to do was just stay in front as much as I could, because in Sector 1 I wasn't pushing it at all. If maybe you see my sector times, I'm probably like half a tenth, a second slower to everyone else in the first sector alone. I was really trying to nurse the tires, and at the end, I was also surprised that I was somehow quicker than McKender. But yeah, no, a lot of ifs and buts in today's race.
Yeah, it was pure chaos at several points of that race. Yeah, and especially after that first safety car, you know, you guys, you and Danico on those older tires, and everybody behind you was looking to get by. Danico caught up an innocent, but you came out unscathed. You dropped down a few positions. Were you surprised then when you saw Danico coming back then, and then obviously that late safety car kind of brought him right back into the race?
The one thing I think we've all learned now is never
Yeah.
count Danny out,
Yeah.
no matter what. Never count any of these guys out, to be honest. I knew that obviously he was near the back of the grid at one point, but you know, he's just that much faster, and yeah, I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, I actually I know he's pulled out some really mad performances like last to first and stuff, but I thought this might have been a bit too big for him. But I mean, he was looking on target, you know, to at least challenge you for the win. But yeah, we absolutely got robbed of that today. But I don't want to focus on that too much because you know, as they say, shit happens, and Codemasters tends to make sure that happens every season. Yeah, so I mean, heading into Austria, the fact that you're going to be so many points ahead, what's your approach to that final race? Are you just looking to enjoy that one and hopefully seal that title in?
Yeah, I suppose it's one of my strongest tracks, so I was always hoping to finish off strong there regardless, but I guess now I can take it a bit more relaxed, but I definitely know that it's not impossible. It's what one, it's like 6, 7 points the gap, so I need to finish I think P6 at minimum, and there's definitely, you know, possible for things to happen for me to finish P7 and Dan P1. There's you know, obviously the two McLarens who always working each other out, and all the Finns, and you know, maybe Tino will make a surprise return, but you know, it'll be a fun race, that's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a good send off for what has been an epic season. Justin, I have to say, like, you know, I have been secretly supporting you on your bid for the championship, and looks like it is tantalizingly close. I mean, it's pretty much yours, but I don't want to, yeah, like you say, anything can happen
No,
in that
no.
final race. So yeah, I'll let you go, but GG on the win, man. That was an epic one for you today, despite all the issues we experienced there. But yeah, I mean, you just look cool and calm and collected throughout, even throughout all that chaos. You still just seemed like you were just chilling, you know.
Trust me, I wasn't.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's in the bag now, so congrats and have a good weekend.
Thank you guys, you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So there we go. I was hoping Danny could come in the chat, but I can understand why he might not want to talk with us right now. But we do have our gamer, who might be able to give us an interesting perspective on the race. Like, you joined late, you didn't do a quali lap, started last, and I looked up at one point and you were P4. So just tell us about your race.
Uh, I don't know. I feel like it's been not good when I'm not really fighting for anything, or like driving as a reserve and having like Danny and Justin around me. Or anyone, like even Tonari, or like anyone who's fighting for points. I just get nervous, and I just don't drive my race. But like even when I was before, like if I saw like anyone behind me who's like he's fighting for a championship, I just let him go. But like I also drove with like some really bad laps, because a couple of stints I couldn't really catch anyone, or sometimes like I did mistakes when I turned into Tonari on the main straights, or back straights, which is like kind of stupid to be doing that on a straight. But yeah, just not really good race. You can't really push, you know, as a reserve, like seeing people fighting for championships. You just can't really like send it on anyone, or like you just have to be quiet and sit back and just watch, you know.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I think some people didn't get the memo today regards to that because Nikoi took out Tenari and that cost Daniko a lot of positions. But yeah, I think that's it. You know, you're very nervous about affecting the championship. You're in a championship battle yourself in tier 2, so yeah, you see both sides of that. But yeah, I mean, you were on a pretty good run up to P4, and then what happened there from that point?
I think it was Danny behind me, so I just let him go on the straights. I didn't really lift or anything, just use ERS and he passed me. Then when I was P5, I had Tonari pushing behind me. I didn't really, mind fighting Tonari much because he's not really in that championship fight. So I used some ERS, but like even in the break zone when I had like Tonari, Danny ahead of me, I was braking at stupid points, like early or like just not really consistent braking. So, I really couldn't fight anything. I can't even fight for a podium or anything. And on the back straight, I think Danny passed Tugay and I had Tugay ahead of me, and I wanted to pass him because he's also not fighting for a championship. But like, I squeezed Tonari a bit too tight. Almost like turning in on him, and the truck moved to the right at the same point, so it's kind of like I squeezed him into the wall, and thankfully he didn't have damage at that point, so that was good. But yeah, I think he also recovered very well after his spin with Nico. It's not even Nico's fault. Like, I think Nico locked up his rear tires on the last corner, and he clipped the rear tire of Tonari, and Danny was just behind, and he got caught in the like crossfire without even him like clipping to it,
Yeah, yeah, it happens. It is motor racing after all. But so in the end, P10, that was my favorite position to finish in. And fastest lap as well. So you got 3 points today in tier 1. Just behind me.
No, not 3, 2.
Oh, did you not get fastest lap now?
Yeah, but P10, 1 point.
Oh yeah, sorry.
fast lap.
I'm looking at the screen. It says 2 points. So yeah. Sorry, I was adding 2 on. 1 on to 2, but yeah, 2 points in the end. So yeah, I mean, a pretty decent race from you. Some incidents, but a difficult one as well with those safety cars. Lots of difficult choices to make. The first safety car though, were you tempted to stay out, or was it a no-brainer when you saw everybody else pit?
No, not really. Like, I expected to be on other safety cars, and even then, like, I'm not going for the optimal strategy. I'm just going for strategy where I have to overtake the most. So, like, I just want to enjoy the race, and I box for mediums. But I don't know. I think I should have gone for softs, or maybe soft at the end and the last stint. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I just wanted to have the most fun and just box for mediums because I think also the others were gonna box anyway. So I think it didn't really change my position except Tugi held me up a bit and then in the pit, so I just lost one position. But yeah, it was fine.
Okay. Well, the main thing is you had fun out there today. It sounds like you did have some fun.
Yeah, I also like saw the issues with Danny had. Like, I was behind Danny at one point on the straight, and he just went back 3 tenths behind, like literally right in front of me, and I almost like swerved out of the way because when you have screen freezes, your car kind of stops for like a split second, and it happened to him a couple of times this race. And every other like driver around you just gets affected by the same issues because it's so hard to drive like someone lagging, but like just it's a bad game.
Yeah, you saw that a few times, especially with those fast, left-right sections. There's a lot of high-speed momentum, and if one guy has an issue, it kind of ripples backwards and affects people. And we saw that today. People getting caught up off guard in those S's sections. Plenty of incidents today, but in the end, we have a winner. It's just Bob. Teach me again. How do you say his name?
Ertz.
Ertz. There you go. But
But
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just doing a wee bit of math here, a bit more with a bit of focus there.
Math.
I just posted it. I don't know if you've seen, but I'll just say for the stream that from what I've worked out, next week in Austria, if Danny wins it, then Justin needs P6 to win the title. But if Danny wins it and Justin finishes P7, they'll be equal on 187 points, which of course then goes to the most wins, and Danny has the most wins.
Yeah.
So I know the guys are feeling a bit dejected, but it's not over yet.
Yeah. I mean, next week Justin could have the same issue Danny could had, and it could just flip it on his head.
The thing is, Chief, so because of the 19-point gap, and if Justin doesn't even score, let's say Justin DNFs, let's just say, right? Not whatever, anything can happen. Danny still needs
He needs to
P1
win. Yeah, he needs to win.
because
Danny.
the P2's only 18 points. So if he gets P2 in the fastest lap, he'll still win because he's got most wins then. So I mean, it really is obviously definitely checkmate advantage Justin, but it's still not over.
Am I supposed to be here? Or...
Yes, you can stay here, man. You can give your
You're
input,
here
yeah.
to the end, man. Yeah. We're holding you hostage. No, actually, no, we're done with your argument. Thanks for the interview. Appreciate that. But yeah, we're going to wrap up now, Bob. But yeah, there's plenty at play, isn't there? There's so many. Well, like you say, it's actually, there's two possibilities in there. Danny Coe still has to win or come P2 with a fast slap, and Justin has to have a really stinker of a race. But again, as we say, Justin could have the same issues that Danny Coe had today. There could be something that takes him out of the race. We don't know. We're going to have to tune in and find out, along with the rest of our viewers here. So it's not over till the fat lady sings, and she's warming up her vocals. So it's about to get very interesting heading into that final lap. But yeah, you can understand Danny Coe. I did message him asking for an interview. I don't think he's willing to come in right now. And I don't know
Yeah.
about you. Anytime I see this from Danny Coe, I always go to his stream after the race just to check in on him and see how that went down from his POV, because that was some
Yeah.
insane sequence of events.
The thing is, I mean, you can definitely understand it because I know people have been writing lucky and it's a luck win and whatever. I mean, it is what it is, right? But I think one thing we can be sure of is that Dan 100% was going for that at that last lap. He had the good tires, excuse me. He had good tires, good battery, and he was going to have the DRS. So I think it would be fair to say that Danny possibly could have won that, and if not, he would have finished P2, which would have made it even closer. That's what we can be sure of. So, whether it's a luck win or whatever, regardless, there was definitely going to be a battle for the very last lap. And we would certainly be going into the next week much closer than what it is. So it's understandable that Dan would be frustrated with that one, but I just hope that, he can pick himself up and really focus on next week. It is a tall order. He just has to win next week. That's it. That there's nothing else he has to do. The one thing is win, and then put everything else in the lap of the racing gods, whatever happens. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man, next week.
Yeah, definitely were denied that spectacular finish. It was looking like it was going to be a very, probably possible. We've had some mental ones this season. I'm thinking of Silverstone and a bunch of other ones. Like Danny Coe has pulled off some absolutely sensational wins at the line, like, under a 10th crossing the line, just coming out of the final corner of Silverstone. It doesn't get much better than that. We could have been on for something similar today, but that's the thing, isn't it? We'll never know. But as I also said earlier, is like these technical issues, they happen throughout a season, and they happen to most drivers encounter some kind of technical issue. I'm thinking of, I remember the Tier 3 season, you and Heat were going head to head. Silverstone again, he completely bugged out and potentially lost a race. We don't know what would happen then if he had won that race. Maybe he would have won that championship. But it is what it is, and the technical issues unfortunately play such a big part in the championship. And luck as well, and I think Danny Coe's luck had run out today, unfortunately. But with that, we will round up the stream. There's no one else wanting an interview, so I know you're hungry, as am I, Bob, so let's wrap this one up. Thanks again to all our our viewers. Hopefully you enjoyed that race up until the last few laps there, and hopefully you'll tune in next week and we can conclude this championship hopefully without any technical issues. Thanks for sticking with us, guys, and we'll be back next week at Austria for the final round across all 3 tiers. Be sure to tune in, and it's good night from me, Bob. Good night to you as well.
Good night, folks.